In today's lesson, we are at an expensive restaurant, but for our customers today, it is their first time there, so they don't know what to order.
They need to ask the server, and there's lots of different words we can use to do that.
Today's lesson is called fine dining. That means eating at a fancy restaurant. So what are we going to learn today, Johnny?
We're going to learn how to ask for advice at a fancy restaurant and how to talk to the server so we can ask about special things on the menu.
Well, let's take a listen to that dialogue. Good evening and welcome to Goosefoot. I'm Antonio and I'll be your server.
Hi, this is our first time here. Do you have any recommendations?
Certainly. Our signature dish is the ribeye steak with mashed potatoes.
Do you have any specials this evening?
Yes, tonight our special is a lovely 5-course Maine lobster dinner.
That sounds wonderful, but I think we'll still have a look at the menu first.
Of course. Take your time.
Look at this menu. Talk about fine dining. So, what are you thinking?
Both this grilled salmon and that steak sound good, but who can say no to lobster?
You read my mind. Hello, Antonio. We're ready to order.
We just heard that dialogue between 3 people. The server, his name is Antonio, and our 2 customers, Julie and Frank. First of all, we have the server, Antonio. He says, "Good evening and welcome to Goosefoot. I'm Antonio and I'll be your server."
We hear this a lot. This is usually the first thing server will say to us. Now, we can also use the word waiter or waitress here, right?
Yes, those are kind of older words. We usually say server now for both a man or a woman. This word server is a noun and it comes from the verb serve, which means to provide or to give food and drinks.
If you're at a hotel, they might say breakfast is served at 6 o'clock. That means breakfast starts at 6 o'clock. You can get food at 6 o'clock.
The person who gives you the food is a server. Julie is our customer here. She says, "This is our first time here. Do you have any recommendations?"
Recommendations. She's basically saying, what's good here?
Because recommendation is like a suggestion. It's like advice. For example, if I go to a restaurant and it's my first time, I don't know what to get. I don't know what food is the best, the most delicious, so I have to ask.
You have to ask for recommendations. Or if you go to a new city and you don't know what to do or where to go, you can ask for recommendations. We can ask for recommendations, but we can also give recommendations too, right?
That's right. And another way Julie could say this is, "What do you recommend?"
Antonio has some recommendations. He says, "Certainly, our signature dish is the ribeye and mashed potatoes."
Those sound really good. First, Antonio, our server, says, "Certainly." Now, pronunciation of this is a little hard. When we say it quickly, we say it like this, certainly.
Certainly. Certainly just means sure, or of course, or yes.
It's like a strong yes, I do. It's a little bit formal, but it's good. I say this when I talk to my friends sometimes. Like, for example, "Hey, I'm hungry. Would you like to get some food?"
Certainly. Antonio has this great recommendation. He recommends the signature dish.
A dish here is not like you have to wash the dishes. It's not a plate or a bowl. A dish here in this sentence means a meal, food that you see on a menu. What about this word signature?
A signature is like when I write my name, sort of in like a fancy way. And it's special. Only I can write my name that way. So it's my signature.
In the same way, a signature dish is a meal that other restaurants don't have. It's only popular here. It's only at this restaurant. So it's kind of a famous dish.
Only they can cook it. Their famous dish or their signature dish is the ribeye with mashed potatoes. So their special dish, their signature dish, is the ribeye steak with mashed potatoes. Let's look at this word ribeye steak.
Looks kind of strange, ribeye. this means the steak is from the rib of the cow. That's really all it means. The ribs are the bones in the chest.
It's a very delicious steak. There's lots of different types of steak you can get from a cow. This is just one type, like Connor said. It's considered the best. It comes with mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. To mash potatoes means to make it soft and creamy.
It's very delicious. You might also see mashed carrots or mashed peas. This sounds really good, but Frank has a question here.
Our other customer here, do you have any specials this evening?
He's talking about a special meal, usually something that's a little bit cheaper, that's on sale.
And this could be dishes like meals. It could also be drinks, like maybe the beer is on special. That means it's cheaper tonight. And this often changes every day.
So you can have a Monday special or Tuesday special. It seems like they do have a special. Antonio says, yes, tonight our special is a lovely 5-course Maine lobster dinner.
We also have our grammar point in this sentence. Let's look at Maine lobster here. So Maine is a place, an area in the USA. Lobster is a type of seafood, right?
Yeah, so a lobster is like a little animal. It's not a fish, it's a little animal, lives underwater, and it's like a crab.
Like a crab, but longer, and they are red, and we often boil them and eat them at dinner. It's hard to eat them, but it's very expensive, and it's usually part of a 4-course or a 5-course dinner. What does course mean here?
A course is like your first course might be an appetizer, so like soup or salad, and then you have your main course, so that's like the big thing you eat, and then you might have another course, which could be dessert.
So that would be a 3-course dinner. Every time the server brings more food and takes away your empty plate, that might be another course. In this case, there are 5 of those, so it's going to be 5 dishes. This is our grammar point, so let's take a look at this.
In today's dialogue, Antonio is talking about a 5-course dinner. This doesn't mean you get 5 dinners. It's still only one dinner, but it has 5 different courses. 5-course is an adjective. It's one idea.
When we put 2 words together like this, because they're one idea and we make them into one adjective, we use a hyphen, that short line, to make it one word. This is called a compound adjective, and we can make compound adjectives from adjectives, adverbs, nouns, and verbs.
All types of words, but today we'll only focus on adjectives and adverbs. This is how we make it. We use an adjective or adverb, then we use the hyphen, and then we use an adjective or a noun.
All right, let's look at a couple sentences. How about this one? She works full-time. We can take these 2 words, full-time, and make them into a compound adjective, then change the sentence.
We can say she has a full-time job.
Full-time is now one word, and it's an adjective.
Here's another example. I can say the table is well made. We can take the 2 words well made and turn that into a compound adjective, right?
That's right. So we can change the sentence to this. It is a well-made table.
Exactly. We often use numbers as well, right?
Yeah, like for example, the book is 500 pages can be changed to this. It is a 500-page book.
Or this restaurant has 5 stars. We could say, this is a 5-star restaurant.
Now let's get back to our dialogue here. I think Frank loves the idea of the lobster dinner, the 5-course lobster dinner, but he still wants to look at the menu. When Julie is looking at the menu, she says, talk about fine dining.
Why does she use this phrase, talk about? Because usually it's like someone says, hey Connor, what are you talking about?
This doesn't really mean talking or speaking. We say this phrase, talk about something, in this way when we are surprised. For example, if I look outside and I see really bad weather, really rainy, really windy, I might say to you, Johnny, whoa, talk about bad weather. That's really bad.
We can also use it to talk about gossip or like negative stuff too.
So we use this when we are surprised surprised, and Julie says, talk about fine dining. So she's surprised about this fine dining phrase. So what does this mean, Johnny?
To dine just means to eat a meal. It could be anywhere, like at McDonald's or a super expensive restaurant.
Or in your dining room. That's why we call it a dining room. Even a diner is a kind of restaurant. But fine dining means fancy or expensive dining. That just means eating expensive food at an expensive restaurant.
Altogether, this whole sentence just means, wow, this is really nice food. She's really surprised.
Right, and she asks Frank, what are you thinking? That means, what do you want to order? And Frank, he doesn't know, but he says this: both this grilled salmon and that steak sound good, but who can say no to lobster?
I eat a lot of grilled salmon. If something is grilled, it just means it's been cooked on a metal grill, and it's a lot like a barbecue, right?
Yeah, we grill steak, we grill burgers, we grill chicken. If you see those dark or black lines on your meat, it was probably grilled. In this case, it's salmon, and salmon is a very simple, common fish. People like to put salmon on their sushi. Fish and chips is often made with salmon. It's very delicious.
You see salmon and steak in fine dining restaurants, but it looks like today Frank is more interested in the lobster because he says, who can say no to lobster?
To say no to something is like saying, no, I won't do that. So in this sentence, he says, who can say no to lobster? That means I can't. I can't say no. It means he wants it. He can't eat anything else.
It makes me think of like really delicious desserts too, like chocolate cake. Who can say no to chocolate cake? Even if I'm so full, I still will say yes.
I can never say no to a delicious cheesecake, for example.
It looks like Julie agrees because she says, you read my mind. So that just means Frank knew what she was thinking. Then she says, hello, Antonio, we're ready to order. That's a good thing to say to the waiter when you want to order food.
This is making my mouth water. We would like to hear from you guys, our listeners. Let us know your favorite dishes. What signature dishes do you like? What places do you go out for fine dining?
And if you have any recommendations for the city that you're in, please let us know in the comment section. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yes, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Server. Recommendations. Certainly. Signature dish. Ribeye steak. Mashed potatoes. Specials. Course. Lobster. Fine dining. Grilled salmon.